think about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Hello again, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Broadcast Podcast. My name is Thomas, and joining me, as always, is my bro, and he's your bro too. Give it up for Alan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Broadcast. It's your boy. It is me. It is he, Alan of the Broadcast. Tom, how are you?
Bro, I'm going good, and I just noticed how many wrinkles I keep coming up from this light that I've got here. I'm looking quite old when I sit at this angle, I think. Just the angle, so yeah.
What do they always say that the wrinkles is they say there's a thinking man's way. If you've got wrinkles, you're a man of pondering, you're a man of thoughtfulness, you're a man of, and then they say basically, I remember hearing some like old wives' tale back in the day that from an actual woman that I knew. This is, don't smile too much because you'll get wrinkles when you're older. And I thought, what a horrible thing to say to just do this, don't smile, because if you smile, like you do a big smile and then there's wrinkles come into your body. Just be stone faced. Oh, that's very funny.
Just be upset and stone faced.
I found that joke very funny. Ha ha ha. Next. Is it?
He's 80 years old, but he looks 20.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Everywhere else on the body just looks 80, but the face, beautiful. Just if one day you actually pretend to laugh, or you actually you find a joke very funny, and then you just let the slip, it cracks, and then your whole face just crumbles. It looks like that scene out of Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, where all the Nazis get their faces melted off. It just breaks.
I still think about that's a pretty graphic scene. Like when you think about, like we were watching that, and I'm like, he literally melts away. It looks like claymation how they did it as well.
So good. Just the eyeball. Nothing better than watching Nazis get all toasty and melt. It was great.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy stuff. The older 80s and 90s films, guys, if you dig films, especially from that era, we've actually covered film companions where we actually would go back and do, I think we did 10 film companions where we watched the likes of Ghostbusters 1, Ninja Turtles from 1990, both Batman and Batman Returns. We also did a couple of Kevin Smith films, including Red State, and our last film companion, which was actually Tusk.
That's right. But a still personal favorite of mine of all the film companions that we did is the wrestling movie that had David Arquette. Yes. That was I actually found that personally, that was one of our favorites that we did with Ready to Rumble. And just, again, that's the one movie I think I've seen nearly over 20 or 25 times. And I could, again, quote the movie, but just how, in a way, it makes fun of wrestling, but then also makes fun of real life. And that, again, people like us that do back in the day, I take it wrestling extremely serious and think, they can't, this is not even a pay-per-view. They're already doing a title match. Oh my God. But yeah, that movie, let alone, it's so silly, it's so goofy, but it's good for a laugh. If you just you take your brain out and you leave it at the door, that's good fun. Yeah, that's all it's about. It's not
when you said wrestling, my first thought was, he's going to say Beyond the Mat, which is another classic that we did. But I think the reflection of when we watched it a few years ago together, we were both dads. We understood how important relationships are. So things that we didn't get when we were, say, teenagers watching it, we watch it differently now. We're a bit more seasoned. We've seen how relationships are so important. And I still, to this day, will laugh at Terry Funk slipping over there before his last match.
Yeah, you just like watching the elderly get hurt. That's a sad point right there.
Terry Funk, Bob Backlund. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. You should probably get checked for that. Beyond the Mat is a great movie. Companion, I think we did too. Looking back to it, um, and I remember I went to I went to the cinemas to go and see that many, many, many years ago, and then going back and watching it, as you said, as a seasoned person, as an adult, and as a man, as a father, you look at that movie and you're just like, yeah, we used to make jokes about that movie, and then we look back at it now and go, yeah. It just showed that, again, that was wrestling at that time. We
Mm.
were watching it, and but there was so much interesting shit going on behind the curtain that we didn't know, and a lot. And then that movie brought a lot of stuff to light, and necessarily not. It was a great movie and all, but it wasn't really a really good movie for wrestling. If
Mm.
you're going into that thinking, I want to grow up, I want to be a wrestler, and there's wrestlers in the bathroom doing crack before their match, or they
Yeah.
go this up, and then you look at the aspects of being a father and a wrestler and doing that at the same time.
Mm.
You're on the road, 365 for most of the year, and you're not seeing your kids. Again, yes, you're making a benefit for them. You're making sure you're making money so they can go to places where you never could yourself, but
Mm.
there's that neglectedness of that you can't be with your boys or your girl, and just. But again, that's a fantastic movie, and I think we did pretty well as commentary for that
Mm.
because it's very eye opening.
And it's actually one of our most highest downloaded episodes, guys. And with that being said, how can you listen to us? You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castro, Castbox, and more. I'm currently looking at what aren't we on and trying to get us on things. To my surprise, I've found certain apps that I had no idea that we were actually even on them, but we are. And I've actually noticed, even using the app Castbox that actually tracks downloads, that's shown me our numbers just off using Castbox. And I think it's like nearly 2,500 just on the Castbox app. And that's not even me using it. Click, click, click. It's not me. But prior to me getting Castbox, 2,000 downloads. Yeah, interesting.
That is crazy. All those different email accounts that you use to get our gains up. I don't know how you do it, man, but you're a wonder.
I've never done that, ever. I'd never rigged a poll to get SummerSlam or anything to win a poll, ever.
You're a liar, RoboCop. You're a bullshit artist.
I fucking never did it, Get me angry
Mhm.
now. Never did.
Never did, Your Honor.
Just going to deactivate the other accounts. Yep.
I've got rid of the bird now, and now I have to get more X's.
But it's still called Twitter, though, when you download the app. It's not called X.
But it's got an X on it.
So it would be called like TBKX.
Please.
Yeah. Well,
no. But if we do that, no, if we're doing to do that, we have to go onto the hub with our other boys.
Yes. You're talking about what Smacking at Raw. I recently watched they did a watch along of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very good. Chef's Kiss. Hit my arm then. Oh.
Very good. Good. Did they actually do that on the YouTube? I'm not reacting to you because I know that you're doing that just to be a shit. So
I did. I actually hit my arm on the corner of my table, though. Yes, they did. They actually did. They did picture in picture. So they actually put the film, like they shared the screen. So you see Katie, you see Vince, you see Matt, and then you see the film, which is like very laggy. And I'm like, oh, this is just hanging out with my friends. So yeah,
good. That's what. When did you watch it on their YouTube or did you watch it on their hub?
No answer. Everyone's gone to bed. Let's watch some wrestling. Click.
No. They're not watching wrestling. They're watching a movie, and they do it during the day when it's down here for us. It's nighttime for them, but it's day for us. Just gonna connect me Apple Play onto the telly. Join my daddy.
No, I get my projector, mate. Get my projector set up.
I get my projector, mate.
I love to smack it raw. Here we go. Yeah.
Gonna get them one of them shirts, eh?
We should. And talking about partners, guys, big thank you to the UW Pod, to both Nick and Dad. As I said last episode, welcome to the Dads Club. Both Nick and Keith are dads for a couple of months now, and I feel your pain of those late nights, those early starts, but it goes by so quick. You're like, where did those memories go? Because they go by like that, and I don't even remember it. What's your take on that one?
Hold on to those as much as you can. Those little moments of cuddling, they're going to make noise, they're going to cry, they're going to poop, they're going to shit, they're going to snot, they're going to puke. Hold on to that as much as you can, because as soon as they get older, it's only just a faint memory in your head. Lucky we've got these little things in our hands, these phones that we can go back and look at photos of them. But just hold on to it, because again, it doesn't last forever.
No, it goes by
Enjoy
so
it.
quick, very quick.
Yes.
So thank you again. Yeah, UW Pod. You can actually watch all of our videos on the Universal Wrestling Podcast YouTube page. Audio, anywhere you want to go, from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, but the video format of this show exclusively on the UW Pod, but it's also on the bloodlinenetwork.com. It's a very sexy, sleek website, guys. Whoever designed it, if it was Justin, it was involved, or if it was Dylan, or if it was Tim, it's an awesome layout, the way they actually do the website. You can simply hover over us, and there we are with all these other podcasts from sports and wrestling and entertainment and anime and hentai. I mean, not hentai, something different. Yeah.
No, hentai is not. No, that's a completely different. Yeah, no.
That's the same as manga, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Do you want us to get kicked off the down here? Do you want us to get? Because we can go back to doing this stupid little show by ourselves without we're meant to be that international flavor on this network. These guys talk funny. Ha ha ha! I like how they speak. They're from Australia, Melbourne, Victoria. Yeah, see, no, don't. You're gonna get us kicked off. Don't bring out hentai, okay, please.
I might talk to them and see if I could do an episode about that.
Do you want the show to be over?
Oh, I'm just being funny. It's Saturday night. Have a chill for a second.
You don't know how to be funny, because when you try to be funny, it sounds like I'm deadly serious. I mean it. Yes, please.
About that, I actually been told, people even at my work have said, we don't know if you're joking sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I might say, like, the other day, like, one of my colleagues was sitting at my desk, and I said to her, I work there. Could you just maybe move over? And she's on a phone call, and I'm like, okay. So I just started disconnecting her laptop, and I'm like, just carrying that. And she's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm only kidding, and then put it back. But she didn't understand that it was a joke. And I'm like, I wasn't like I was knocking everything over. And then she goes, yeah, I thought you were serious. And I'm like, no, I'm a pretty casual, funny guy. People know when I'm kidding. But then my wife said, I don't know if you're kidding. And I'm like, okay, that's probably different. But yeah.
Look, wow, really? I think you have to have a look at yourself, Tom, and have a think.
What?
Yeah, even now, I don't even know if you're angry or not. Are you angry, or are you taking the offense?
I don't know. I'm just a bit hot at the moment. My cheeks are a bit hot. Well, sorry about that.
Just punch everyone right in the right ear right there, mate. Thanks very much.
Well, I'll try my best to edit it out.
Don't edit. And there's nothing raw. Just like smacking it raw.
Oh, look at that. Look at that big smack hand there, Al. Good work.
Thanks.
And before we move forward, let's talk about some of our great affiliates and partners. We are talking about Rogue Energy, Luxy, Triumph Chairs, Player One Coffee, and Clinch Gaming. That's a lot of actually sponsors, guys. So we're talking about gaming controllers, we're talking about coffee, we're talking about gaming chairs, we're talking about gaming grips, and then we're also talking about Rogue Energy, which I really want to get my hands on. And I wish it was just here in Australia, so I could just go to the store and buy like a Prime drink. Like, why can't we have Rogue here? But talking about energy drinks, have you had a Prime yet?
No. I haven't. What, you think I should? I mean, I can next show if you give me a reminder. I will go to the shops. I won't buy them. I'll pinch them. I'll put them in my bag and walk out.
Hey, what do you got there?
Officer, mate, he over there, he's stolen 2 primes. Like, no, I haven't. And I run and I fall over and the
Now,
primes
what
fall
you
out of
do
my
is
bag.
while you're running,
He's
you
got
drink
him.
the
He's
you
got
drink
him.
it while you're running, you crack open the prime like a slap juice, and you get extra speed, so you have non-stop sprint for a couple of seconds. So,
Fucking nerd. Fucking nerd.
get a slap juice, maybe a 4-pack, splash it on the ground, and then you can run further. So,
And as I'm running, I can do the gritty, right?
yeah, do it, yeah.
Yeah. Go
And
on.
then the
Come
guns
on.
come out and take you down. So, yeah.
Victory Royale. Wow.
Well, have you seen how much a prime is going for down here?
No. I
For
see him in the shops.
one bottle of prime, which is about, I think it's a 500 ml. So it's the same as like what you drink in there. It's actually $4.50 for a bottle. For
There's a
one
queue
bottle,
of-
$4.50.
Question though, if you drink it, does it make your dick bigger?
No. So
You haven't drank any, so why do you?
I have. I have one in the other room. I've got the orange flavor.
I do. What is it? Why is it not on the show? Why aren't you promoting it right now?
Because we're not sponsored by them.
We're not sponsored by this either, but I still drink it on the show.
I'll get it next time. I'll actually sit them up over here so you can see them up on the wall there. I've actually got a couple of different flavors actually. So yes, I'm that weirdo going, I'll take one of every flavor, please. I don't care how much it is.
Yeah, I don't worry about you. You just like to throw money down the toilet, do you?
No, I don't. No, my son has bought them. So there's actually 2 types of them though. There's Prime Energy, which is the energy drink, which has got criticism recently because I think they come out and said that 1 can of Prime Energy is the equivalent of 4 bottles of Coke. That's how much sugar's in it. Yeah. Where Prime Hydration is the one that we have in Australia now at Woolies and Coles.
They're the ones I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And they're still going for, was it?
$4.50. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, they're okay. They just taste like Gatorade, really, but it's just more of a brand. That's what you're paying for, is the brand. It's a trendy thing that all the young kids want to go and get it. So my son's like, "Can I get one?" And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine." So yeah, but I'm not recommending it, but I'll happily put it up here and get sponsored. So yeah.
Mr. Logan Paul, please. We'll haul your shit. You just tell us what to do and say, and we'll put them up. I'll put 2 on my head.
Well, talking about Logan Paul, why are we here? Why are we here for this episode? What's the theme of this episode, El?
Oh, of course, yes. We're another wrestling podcast. That's right. So we're like many other shows out there on the YouTubes, on the Castros. Everyone who's watching us right now, is that time of the year that's coming up, and that's called SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam. No, it's not AEW. No, it's not ROH. No, it's not TNA Impact. It's the WWE. And yeah, our theme of this show today is SummerSlam. And Tom and I are going to go back and, for your viewing pleasure, and we're going to be your own personal commentary team of Excalibur and Taz, or Tony Schiavone or JR, or Michael Cole and JBL, or Jerry Lawyer and JR. I could go forever, really. Corey Graves and Booker T, Bobby the Brain and Mike Tenay, Mark Hudson, and who was the fella that was in at the beginning of TNA?
Are you talking about
Sleazeball?
Ed Ferrara?
Ed Ferrara, and yeah, pretty much that's how I see it as us. We are the Ed Ferrara and Snoochie Boochies, Mark Madden, of your commentary team. You know, which one would you rather be? You only have to choose one.
I'll just be Ed. I'll take Ed.
Yeah. You're the creep. You could be the creep
with the long dreads on the debut TNA episode.
Okay, where are the women at? Yeah. He was a creep.
Such a different. That's 21 years ago, and it's still cringy even to go back now and have a look at it. So, yeah. Well, as Alan said, guys, we are on the road to SummerSlam, which is actually going down this weekend coming up. We're not going to be going through doing a match prediction of every match because, again, other shows are doing that, and we rather support our Bloodline Entertainment Network brothers in what they're doing their prediction shows as well. We're going to be covering a SummerSlam match. This is entitled the TBK SummerSlam Special. So earlier this year, we did a Royal Rumble special where we went back and watched the 2016 Royal Rumble. We followed that up with the TBK WrestleMania special, where we watched the Triangle Ladder match from WrestleMania 2000 and Hogan versus Vince from WrestleMania 19. And here we are again for what should be an interesting matchup. This is actually Alan's choice. He did some research and said, I think this would be good. And funny thing is, I went, oh, that's right, that happened. Like, I almost forgot that this match actually even took place. I knew it happened once, but didn't know what year or what event. So before we actually announce what that match will actually be, we want to give a shout out to our two great wrestling podcasts who we support. They are, people that we've connected with, we've grown to have great relationships with, and we are talking about the Apron Bump podcast and also Main Event Marks.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. And I know what you're thinking. Ugh, another wrestling podcast? How many times can I listen to fans beat up on WWE and AEW? Tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! I'm just as sick of it as you are, and that's why I created the Apron Bump. The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. It's about making wrestling fun again. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, tying together over 6 different promotions spanning 4 different decades. And everything is chronologically in a timeline to really allow myself and all you listeners to live through these eras while having a good time doing it. Whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday, or as some may say, Bump Day. Yeah? Go to apronbump.com or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
Main Event Marks is a retro pro wrestling podcast hosted by 2 lifelong wrestling marks and walking wrestling encyclopedias, Troy and Greg. Every Wednesday, we do a breakdown and review from a fan's perspective on some of wrestling's biggest and most forgotten shows ever, along with the industry news from that time period, taking you back in history to when that event took place. Main Event Marks is available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow us on social media at @main-event_marks.
All right, guys, we are back. And once again, shout out there to the Apron Bump podcast and also Main Event Marks. Alan, what are we doing?
All right, guys, we are going to be your commentary tonight for Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Very
Now,
nice.
I haven't watched this match in quite a while, but like Tom said, I did do a bit of research over this one. And this is during the time where Punk had lost the title. He lost Heyman. And then Heyman went back to his protege of Brock Lesnar. And now this one was basically Punk getting back at Brock and Heyman. And this is a match I never thought you would see because, again, Punk was on a run at this time. He was doing some fantastic stuff. But then as soon as Brock Lesnar reared his head, we all sort of knew that one way or another, Heyman would be back in his corner as his advocate.
And this is kind of forgotten for me because this was the year that I didn't watch wrestling. Like the 2013 year was the year that my son was born, and I literally just took a year off wrestling, like from January all the way to possibly even like half of 2014, because I really wasn't even watching. I think I might have got back into it after WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan won the championship from Orton. So for almost 15, 16 months I wasn't watching. So I actually had no memory of Lesnar versus Punk. And when we spoke earlier this week, I went back and watched it, and it's actually a really good match. Like, it's a real clash of styles from, like, you know, the smaller size CM Punk against this literal man beast in Lesnar, but they do complement each other. It's a real David versus Goliath battle. You add in a no DQ stipulation to it. It's a good matchup. So we're ready on my side. Are you ready on your side, El?
I am ready on my side, bro. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to be watching with this, you can find this on YouTube as well too. You can find this on Daily Motion, wherever you are finding it. Be ready to click play with us in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go, eh? Mike Chioda, the referee.
And look at that.
Straight away. I love just in the crowd that you've got the Brock Fears Kane poster, which would have been after Brock lost the, UFC heavyweight title, you know, a couple of years earlier.
I was about to bring that to our attention as well too. Yes.
Jeez, look at those hits, man.
Just throws him around.
But that's the thing, like, I was reading a lot of documentaries and reading a lot of articles about Brock, and it's like, for those power hits that he's doing, he's not doing like Goldberg was, where they weren't protected. Like, Lesnar knows what he's doing. Yes, it's going to hurt, but he's protecting you. He's not going out there, guns are blazing, strike for strike, and trying to take you out like it's a real shoot. He sells well, but he also dishes it out quite well too.
Yeah, he's legit protecting. You can tell that he is a man who, you know, like, he just throwing them around. It's unbelievable. But again, and this is where Punk shaved all the beard off too and kept the mutton chops like Wolverine.
Yeah, it's the Punk I don't remember. Like, I don't remember CM Punk. I remember the slicked back long hairstyle when he was in ECW. He kind of cut it short, slicked it back, and was world champion for like 400 plus days. And, you know, that's the Punk I remember. This mutton chops, I'm like, when did he have that look?
God, he's scary, Brock Lesnar.
You can just imagine seeing him on the farm, just literally carrying a tractor, just walking with the hay bales and the tractor. Yeah.
He doesn't need a tractor. He is the tractor. Oh.
You could just see a local farmer saying, "Oh, Brock, my trailer got stuck in another dip here." No worries. He just reaches in and just pulls it out for him. Easy. Puts it back for him. Thanks, Brock.
I remember seeing an interview that he did with Pat McAfee, and he spoke about that he has sons. He has 2 boys that live on the farm with him, and he's pretty much at the beginning of, since they were born, it was basically, we live in a farm. You guys get straight to work. So if they're anything like their dad, they're going to be enormous dudes.
Well, I think his daughter's actually an amateur wrestler, and she looks very big too. Like, she's quite tall and she's quite physically intimidating.
What's that last name? Lesnar. No, thank you.
Well, like, watching this, like, what would you say is your favorite era of Brock? Were you a fan of like the next big thing? You know, B-boxing Brock with the big speaker. What was your type of favorite Brock?
Brock, at the beginning, Here Comes the Pain. That was like scary. The next big thing, you're like, what is this dude? You know, it's this genetic freak that was made in a lab. No, he's a big boy that wrestled in in the performance center, and just did wonders. But he was just scary looking. Well, like when he first made his appearance, attacking Al Snow, and who was the other person that was in that match? And he just put him. He killed him. He killed them both.
Yeah. It was for the hardcore championship match. He ran in and took out, I think it was Maven, Al Snow, and Spike. Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to the WWE. Destroy everybody. Just very, very cool.
And he was doing shooting star presses in OVW. Yeah, with Shelton
There we go.
Benjamin as his partner. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a personal favorite. One of my favorite things he ever did, because it took me back to when my son started watching wrestling with me. It was when he was WWE champion, and he came out in the Rumble, and this is 2020, so this is before
Ah,
COVID
that's
hit,
right. Yeah.
and he destroyed everybody in the ring. Jesus Christ!
He literally did he hit the table or did he just hit the chairs?
Bit of everything.
Grabbing that leg too. Shit.
Yep.
There's literally
Hell.
no notes left. There's no iPad. It's all just wiped out.
One more time, people. Bounce.
Nearly hit Kyoto. Kyoto ducked. Do you see that?
Yes.
Jesus. And it's funny, like looking at Brock here, like this is a decade ago, and he still looks the same. Like he has the top knot now, but he still physically looks the same. Jesus. A decade later.
You don't need a stomp.
God's sake.
God damn.
Just smiling about it.
Paul Heyman laughing in the background there. Oh,
Well, I would probably say, well, my favorite Brock. God, look at that, belly to belly. I was a big fan of when he first came back in 2012, with the whole Ultimate Fighter style gimmick, UFC gloves on, UFC gear. And that was interesting time too, because when Brock came back then, there was no Heyman with him. Like
That's right.
Heyman was not working on camera. He was behind the scenes. So like Lesnar's cutting promos by himself without an advocate. So I did like that one. But anything with Goldberg and him, I was a fan of because I used to love that smash mouth wrestling of just hit, finisher, spam finisher, massive move set. But to think a decade later and he's still going. Like
It was like this.
Yeah.
It was like you're playing a video game, Just put the and again, there was a reason why both of them were on the cover of what year was it? 2016, 2017 of the 2K games,
Yeah, I think it was 2017, wasn't it, to do the whole when fantasy becomes reality when he took on Brock and what was it, Goldberg Survivor Series? Yeah,
Yep, that's right.
and like even my memory of like this is again not knowing about the 2013 year. I remember the 2014 SummerSlam because that's the one where he whooped Cena. Remember, it was like nearly 30 German suplexes, completely destroyed him, and then won the WWE Championship, which was the big gold back at that time, and the WWE title.
Spoilers for anyone who hasn't done the showcase for the 2K23 game. You can do that match.
Oh shit! Nice.
And you play as Brock Lesnar. And
so you just destroy Cena. Nice.
Yes. So I know the game's been out for a while, but I'm just giving everyone a fair warning. That is one of the matches you can do, and that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to get a little bit cheaper. It's still that little bit too expensive to buy it straight out.
Oh, don't worry, you've still got AEW.
I was going to say I'm too busy having extreme death matches. It's getting better. There's little updates here and there. It's getting better.
I want Brock Lesnar to call me a baby girl. Did you hear him call?
Yeah.
I want Mr. Lesnar to call me a baby girl.
Oh, those knees.
Put me in his big, muscly gorilla arms and just rock me to sleep.
I'm a baby girl.
He's like, you're very ugly. You're a very ugly baby girl, but okay.
Oh, crap. All right, well, let's talk about CM Punk, eh? So, favorite version of CM Punk?
I think, like, among everybody, the pipe bomb, telling him like it is, that's got me excited. That did. Because it was sort of like, is this real? Is this, are they allowing him to talk like this? Is he allowed to mention those names? And I found that always very intriguing. If you've listened to this show for a while, I have fallen out of love with CM Punk. I know probably people listening to this now going, "Oh wow, you're actually doing a CM Punk match. This is CM Punk of old.
Yeah.
This is the Punk I liked. The Punk now, not much of a big fan. No.
What about his ECW stint when he first came in?
I couldn't really relate because he was the whole straight edge this, and I looked at it, I thought, oh, that's cool, but I've never lived straight edge in my life. I like to drink, I like to have a bit of a smoke, I like to have a bit of a party. When he talked about the type of food he was eating, I'm in the complete opposite. You know, so yeah, I couldn't really relate to it, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It was different, but he's just throwing him around here. This is so good to watch.
It's literally what 6 to 7 minutes of just Brock offense.
What about you?
Favorite CM Punk? I did like ROH when he was there, like especially all the matches with Samoa Joe that they had, like the nearly 1 hour classics, and I liked his stuff with Raven when they were feuding. I did like, even though it's people don't, I did like the new Nexus when he was given a group to actually be a leader and actually lead a group. The Straight Edge Society was interesting. You know, when he had Luke Gallows, I think it was in Saraya, I think was in his team, and I think at one point Joey Mercury also joined the group. Like that was a very different, very cult-like mentality, almost like what Bray Wyatt would eventually do with the Wyatt family.
He had the really big beard and the long hair, very cultish.
Yeah, and like I like him in AEW. I think it was a good fit, but again, as I said from the beginning, I think it was all the work. The Young Bucks Omega Punk was a work. It's a great work. We will get that. But again, you've got All In and All Out happening in a few weeks, and they're literally going to be separate of each other because, again, Omega and Punk's going to be on separate shows. It's almost like we're doing a Raw and SmackDown with AEW, with Dynamite and Collision being the red and blue side, having separate pay-per-views. Again, they've got a lot of talent, so maybe separate pay-per-views is the answer. But yeah, I would say I like AEW Punk, but he's had some great classics, a lot of blunders here and there. But, honestly, I would hope in the next year, though, he finishes up. Because I do feel his best has been, and I would say it was what we're watching here. The 2011 Pipe Bomb, 2012 as world champion, the 2013, and then he eventually was wanting to leave. But I do feel like that ship is sailing away, and it might be a swan song within the next 12 months, I hope.
Yep. Look at that, the welt on his back there being thrown on the tables.
Yeah, he's bleeding. Look at that.
Yeah. And both these guys are sweaty under those hot lights. Unbelievable.
But it's a great physical matchup when you think of it, like the way that Brock had the offense, Punk's coming back, using his kicks, using his knees, using his elbows, and Brock's a great sell. Like he's giving him that respect.
No.
Denied. Access denied.
That roundhouse kick is deadly.
Love it.
Here we go.
Top rope. Is this the elbow drop? Is it an elbow drop? Yeah.
Macho Man style.
He kind of did it from the opposite side too, because he usually does it from his right elbow from the other ring post.
That's right.
And did you see that thing with Punk getting hit in the groin by Kojima at Forbidden Door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
We're talking about
around. Yeah, go ahead.
You go first. No, you go.
No, you got something. Go.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's a topic about Heyman, but say your thing first, and then I'll talk about Heyman.
Oh, I just that I actually got around and watched Blood and Guts. Yeah, and
nice. What's your
interesting
views?
match. Interesting match. Very bloody. Very extreme. Kind of silly, but I did find myself watching it and then going cringing, and not because of the like what I thought it was like silly wrestling. It actually was like, shit, what are you guys doing? Oh my God, he's got him up on his shoulders here. We got a Kimura.
Look at that.
Now you're saying Mr. Heyman?
Well, just on Blood and Guts, I know the Bloodline
Oh,
Entertainment Network actually did a live stream of Blood and Guts, and I would say that Devin from Clark Street Wrestling is one of the best visuals on the screen because his reactions to spots, like when they had the nail board come out, and then when the nail board falls on Omega, like Devin's face is just over the top, like it's just big shock. He has like anger, sadness, and happiness all within a minute because the product does that to you. So when they did that watch along, it was of the entire matchup, and just everyone on screen is just screaming, "Oh my God, what are we watching?" Like it slows down, then it comes back up again. You got your raining spot, the raining tacks coming through. You've got a lot of brutal spots, and it was good. I would like to maybe do a Blood and Guts with you maybe next year. Maybe we pull out one from the archives that they've done, but it really is a throwback, to the war games that you and I both love, of what NWA WCW days. So.
But yeah, back in the NWA days, they weren't using thumbtacks and glass. No. Maybe the occasion, they were using. They were using frying pans. And
yeah,
he's got him in the triangular lock here.
Look at that. And I think what I'll say is great in this match is that how Brock holds onto the submission and gives the illusion of the tap out. Because there's a few spots with both an armbar, a triangle choke, and also his finisher, the Anaconda Vice. And it's like you think, oh, he's actually going to tap. Like he sells it so well. I love this here, this powerbomb spot, because this is actually a throwback to Pride FC when Rampage Jackson picked up Ricardo, I think it was a Rona, and powerbombed him while getting triangle choked and knocked the dude out after he dropped him down. Yeah, it was sick. It was just like, but there was also a follow-up punch. Like he was out from the powerbomb, and then Rampage, big right-hand haymaker down as well as he's already out. You're like, he's dead. He's already dead.
That's awesome. I did. Okay, cool. That's again, little shit like that. I had no idea. God, he goes so pink when he wrestles.
He does, like he's sunburned, doesn't he?
Sorry, you were saying about Heyman?
Just with like, we're fans of Heyman, from his ECW time, but who do you think's been one of your favorite people that he actually has managed during his tenure? I think you're going to go maybe WCW, but maybe talk WWE. Who's been maybe one of the strongest advocates that you've seen him support?
I always liked it with the Dangerous Alliance, working along with Arn and Larry Zbyszko and that team, Austin. My God, look at this guy. He's taking a page out of Kurt Angle's book. Three amigos right there.
You hear the crowd chanting Eddie's name right there too. Nice.
I liked his stuff with Heyman. So Heyman, I liked his stuff with Punk.
Nice.
Punk didn't really need him, but it was just that, two dudes. What do they call each other? The one smart Jew. He used to call himself that with Heyman, and they used to. You could tell that he was sort of molding him in a way of going, oh yeah, you could do anything, Punk. Just put your mind to it. So he did a great job. The stuff he's done with Roman lately,
it's next level. Yeah,
next level shit. What's Jerry Lawler gonna do? Oh, would you like a chair?
Here, it just slides it to him.
Your wife has very nice puppies.
I know from experience being in the ring.
I was in the ring. He's looking at it from He's looking like Michael. He's probably looking at Michael Cole. How Heidenreich looks at him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't get this spot because it's like, who is meant to take it? Is it a sell on who? Like, you think watching this now that Brock had it up, so Brock would probably be the one that's okay because he was blocking Punk, but Punk's the first one up though.
Yeah, but it by any means necessary, by how Punk's wrestling, he's like, I've got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, I would probably say I felt the Punk and Heyman felt very similar to RVD and Heyman. Like he would have been the new version of RVD for him that he can mold as a world champion. You know, to be like the WWE version of what Van Dam was in ECW. But again, I loved his work with Punk, loved his work with Roman, and then the little side things like Curtis Axel, you know, trying to push him for the IC championship as like a Paul Heyman guy. But it would have been cool to even see like a Paul Heyman girl, like finding a heel that he could have also mentored and had like an on-screen female character that he could have pushed, but they never end up doing that. But that would have been quite interesting.
I wonder, because they've never done that, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's been some great photos back in the day during this time where you would see Punk with AJ Lee and Heyman all sitting together. So he, you know, again, but I mean, I don't think Heyman's done yet. I mean, whatever happens with Roman next and where he decides, they might put him in the corner of a woman who might need it. I mean, he could do wonders with Ronda.
That would be actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Because look at the chair. What's he?
Look at this. And there's the censored spot. We don't get the contact. Yeah.
Which is understandable again because I think before we hit record here, they can't really show the head trauma shots.
Yes, and I was having a laugh because I was watching another match that we were thinking is a potential for this episode, and that was TLC 1 from SummerSlam, and that's nothing but headshots with steel chairs and ladders. Like they're just flush on their head. You know, just grit your teeth, shoulders up, and just put it on the forehead or right on the back of the neck, and brutal. But I think what you said that I would actually love to see Heyman with Ronda because you could imagine cutting promos like she's the first UFC women's bantamweight champion, like ranking off all of her achievements. She's the baddest woman on the planet. But I think Ronda's probably going to leave. I think from what I've seen online, it's looking like it's a couple of months away, but that would have been a potential great thing. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. In a world where if Brock Lesnar never returned to the WWE, then maybe we would have seen that.
Yeah.
Let go of me.
Look at Brock, let go. I can't. See?
Listen to the crowd here.
Yeah.
Go to love that stance.
I love that. And see how it doesn't connect in the chin? It gets him right in the solar plexus, like right in the chest, which is what Brock has had health issues with his stomach. And the knee hits him in that stomach. So it's like, oh, you know, because he couldn't cop the chin. But I know looking at it from that lens, like it looks good on the stomach because Brock's always had that bad health. So, yeah, very cool. But as you said, the crowd is so hot for this matchup. And this is like midway through the show. And they've given him, 27 minutes, and it's a great matchup.
This is probably the longest match I've ever seen Brock Lesnar have. And we've got Punk up. Here comes the pain.
I love this.
No.
Love it. Again, a throwback Eddie Guerrero. You know, No Way Out 2004. Love it. The crowd loving it. It's a great matchup. Like it's a great match that you wouldn't see Brock have. You know, Brock 10 minutes max. But this is 23 minutes in, I think we're into it.
Yep. And the match that followed after this was the that mixed tag team match.
What was that one?
Big E and AJ Lee took on Dolph and Caitlyn.
Ah, yep. Okay, I remember that feud. Yeah.
So again, you need a let me up match. So that one was pretty much the match that followed after this. Get off.
Was this the midway of the show, or was this like up near the co-mains?
This is 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, then we had the mixed match, and then we had the match that followed. It was Daniel Bryan versus John Cena for 26 minutes. And then straight after that was the Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan match.
That was nice. I remember that. Yeah, he cashed in. Orton cashed in. Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Dog shit. Absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Heyman's tapping. Oh, the smack.
Jesus, look at that. See, because before Brock came back, I think Punk was feuding with Curtis Axel because he was a Paul Heyman guy with Brock or with Heyman, and then Brock came back after Punk beat Curtis. Yeah,
There was even a brief time where Cesaro was a Paul Heyman guy,
that's true. Yeah,
and that didn't happen. And then he got into the ring with Vince McMahon one time, and then fluffed his words because he got a little bit nervous. And then they went, "Nah, sorry, Claudio, go team up with Sheamus. Bye bye. You're a tag team guy now."
but that's the thing. I don't think Claudio's good as a promo. As a wrestler, he's great, but as a promo, I don't think he's as good as he is in the ring. Oh, here we go.
Here comes the pain.
I love the
On
readjustment.
the chair.
Look at, I love the readjustment right on the steel chair. But see, they made it simple, just a chair. We didn't have tables, we didn't have ladders. Great matchup. Great pick, El.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Paul Heyman in the back there, choked down because he was hit with the Anaconda device. But then waking up and going, "Oh my God, my client won. All right, now we got to get out of here. Quickly, quickly."
He got knocked out with a right hand and choked out. My knee. Help me, Brock. My knee.
I have a sore knee. You're like, look at the dents, the indentations in that.
So what was
He's
the
really
next
holding
show
on to
after
that leg.
this at this year? What was the next show in the that would have been September?
Let's have a look.
I'd like to know what Brock would go on to do, because again, this might have been Brock doing the part-time schedule where he was just doing the big five, really, like Royal Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series.
Well, the next pay-per-view was the Night of Champions. We had Kofi Kingston on the cover with the Intercontinental title. And let's have a see if Mr. Yeah, no Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
The main event that night was Daniel Bryan defeated Randy Orton for the WWE title. The Shield took on the Primetime Players for the tag titles. Dean Ambrose won the United States Championship from Dolph Ziggler. Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel had a defeated CM Punk in a no disqualification elimination match.
Okay, so it was before this. I thought it was actually before this show, so it was actually after this show. Okay.
I would imagine, yeah, after this match, Brock took off.
Yeah.
Took his time off. But they kept the story going with CM Punk and Heyman.
Well, you think, Brock's biggest win would probably be within the next, 9 months, which was beating Taker at Mania 30, which was 2014.
Rob Van Dam and Ricardo Rodriguez defeated Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship, but by disqualification, so the championship did not change.
Yeah, because I believe next month they had an Extreme Rules for the belt. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So that match with Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman was match number 6, but no, match number 2, Curtis Axel won the Intercontinental Championship from Kofi Kingston with Paul Heyman in his corner.
Nice.
But then we only got a 5-minute and 40-second match for the women's match for the Divas title, where AJ Lee defeated Brie Bella, Naomi, and Natalie. Natalie Neidhart was wrestling at this time.
And was that, did you say Divas or women's back then?
Divas.
Yeah, because I believe it was around that time that they had both belts, but they merged them when Michelle McCool won them, and they calling it Divas until they eventually made it women's when you had, Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte from WrestleMania.
All those
Any
people coming
closing
up.
comments, El, on this matchup?
Great match. I'm glad I got around and watching it again. It's a barbaric match. There was anything that has Brock Lesnar in it. The old Punk, that's the Punk that I like. Type of match. Always good to go back and have a watch and enjoy. Yeah, nice little match. Just chill back and watch the brutality.
No, I agree. Awesome matchup and great choice. Guys, before we actually finish up for this episode, we want to give a shout out to two great wrestling podcasts. Check these guys out.
Hey, it's Chris from Marking Out, the only online listening experience in the world. Join myself, Dave, and social media influencer Brandon as we release a weekly podcast that covers the world of professional wrestling. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on all major podcasting applications. Follow us on Twitter at Marking Out and watch all of our great videos at youtube.com/markingout11. And as always, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Hey, this is Ken M.
Padawan J.
Coach Duffy from the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour podcast. Every week, the ODPH is talking sports, movies, TV, comics, and more. It's always a parlay of topics on each episode. You can find the ODPH on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and wherever you find great podcasts, such as the one you're listening to right now. Don't forget to check out OchoDuroParlayHour.com, where you can find the links to all of the ODPH social media accounts, links to the bands whose music you hear each week on the show, hashtag 607 podcast info, and parlay points, our companion blog section of the show. Thanks for listening to the ODPH. Now get back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
All right, guys, we are back and we have reached the tail end as what has been a great episode for episode 164 of the Broadcast Podcast. We are actually getting very close to the end of season 7. We have some other episodes planned for the next couple of weeks. But once again, before we finish up, you can check us out on Apple iTunes. You can check us out on Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castro, Castbox, and wherever you get your podcast. Once again, thank you to our American brothers, Nick and Keith from the UW Pod. Thank you once again for streaming our video actually live on your YouTube channel. And also shout out there to the Bloodline Network.com, your one-stop shop for all things in the world of professional wrestling, sports, anime, movies, and many other different things, including video game streamings that you guys can actually chat and interact with both Devin and also JD, who stream on the Bloodline Twitch channel. Alan, any closing comments?
Thanks again for everyone taking their time to come and watch this yet again on the YouTubes. And if you're listening to the audio, thank you very much for downloading and listening to us yet again. If going back to a bit of a housekeeping for me, yes, your boy, I do have a Twitch channel. That's TTV Roscoe Bosco 84. Every now and again, I don't really have a set schedule on when I do jump on the old Twitch. So I'll see how that goes. Yeah, jump on there. I am thinking about jumping onto Kick. So if you are looking out for me to do some stuff on Kick, I'm still going to use the same username as Roscoe Bosco. Haven't sent anything yet, but when I do, I will throw it to Thom. He will share it on our socials, and then you can come and watch me. Yes, thank you everyone yet again for watching this show, and big thanks to you, Thom, yet again for organizing this. All I do is just rock up and make noise and make faces and meant to be reactional, and that's what I do best.
In regards to our social medias, you can check it out noted on the screen there. Our Twitter page, which is just here, and our Instagram, which is actually over here. We are looking at actually setting up a link tree so you guys can actually have a one-stop place for all of our content, linking into YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and many other things. In regards to what's coming up next from the broadcast, just letting everybody know, in exactly a fortnight from tonight, we will be releasing a TBK Vault episode, as we'll be releasing our matchup from Walter versus Dragunov from NXT TakeOver 36. We did a watch along to this whole show August of last year, and we'll be releasing a TBK Vault for that, which is coming out on, I believe, the 15th of August. I think I've got it there as 26, but we actually have something planned for that date. I won't announce it, but this actual match, I might edit that actually and change it so it actually says the correct date, which I believe will be the 15th, which is Tuesday for us here in Australia. So there we have it there again. So yeah, up next, Walter versus Dragunov, the 15th of August. I hope everyone enjoys SummerSlam. Should be a good show, the biggest show of the summer. For us, it's kind of winter, so we actually have a very cold version of this year. And then for the States, when it's your Christmas time and snow, it's actually our summer. So we kind of get the summer months towards the end. But it should be a great show. Some great matchups. I'm excited for that. Check out our actual Twitter. We'll be putting up predictions for both Alan and I that we'll be putting up. Alan, any closing comments?
Nope. I hope everyone enjoys, and we will see you guys next time.
And as we say each and every episode, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or
Good night.